Hello team, welcome to the Sunday Message here as I'm looking out the window and seeing some snow again. It was a great Saturday. I hope you all enjoyed and got out for some fun things with the weather. I wanted to respond in video this week because I received a great deal of information and feedback to our turnover question and challenge last week, and want to kind of go through some things we're working on and get your input this week as well. But I think you can see that we are going to be taking some pretty good actions and already were moving in that way. If you will print out and refer as you're working with our campuses to our best practices in staffing, as well as the urban legends memo that was produced, so that people can understand that we are trying to have guidelines on staffing, but the 12-hour shifting, the PRN target at 5%, there's some really good information in there that you as operators and the support personnel should be paying close attention to, so that people don't get into the situation where we have said something but it becomes an absolute mandate, which I know is tricky sometimes, but I think you have to listen closely when we communicate, and we perhaps have to be better communicators, so the reason for the memo. So that was first on the list, to try to ease some staffing pressure, especially in some of the more rural markets where the 12-hour shift for nurses is the something that helps because of the length of the commute as far as pricing, gas, and so forth. So that's the first one. The second is we've met and received feedback this week, had some really good catch-up meetings, and out of that came a couple things we'll be implementing here very quickly. The first is our iSIMs in some locations is a huge asset to hiring, and in other locations we're at the other end of the spectrum where it is a huge detriment to hiring and a hurdle. And so the talent engagement team is going to, in those highest tier in need of hiring assistance, and they know who they are because they can tell who's using iSIMs. They are very familiar with their field people as well as home office support who can do that. They're going to take over directly the administrative function of working employees and candidates through the iSIMs process. They also are going to be looking to see what we can do to streamline it for all campuses as we move ahead. So some of those staffing challenge campuses will be picking up some additional support. They were going to have their field support and home office people work directly with them on making sure that they can run iSIMs. The third one, which I think was mentioned by several people and we need your feedback on, is we're going to provide some management leniency to our attendance policy. We've been studying this for a bit and have realized that even though at the time everyone was really keen to make our staffing attendance policy firmer, at the hope that we'd have better attendance, we wouldn't have as many call-offs, and in fact we're having more turnover from this attendance policy. And so we're going to be looking to make some changes. We haven't finalized those changes and would love to hear your feedback and input directed towards John Ekman and or Holly Rickard in HR. They're going to be collecting that, and we'll come with a new policy that will roll out probably within the next 10 days. And we're not going to overstudy this. We are going to give management some flexibility. There might be some changes in weekend points, what those are worth, etc. But we are going to give an ability to have an employee not self-terminate. Some other good ideas that came out of those discussions are going to be, we're not going to send out letters on the fifth point. Instead, we're going to post the point totals in the break rooms by employee badge number so everybody can kind of see where they are at any point in time, and perhaps we can head off some of the predetermined turnover by having people more conscious of their points, and of course as we upgrade our HR systems, we'll probably put it on the payroll stub or something. So that's one, kind of the big ones that we kind of talked about versus the more macro ones, which are always in process in terms of, creating better work environment, better leadership, more consistency in leadership, which leads to more consistency in staffing. All those good programs we have going, growing our own, the CLF, the AIT, all those are very, very important to us. So the next item up for this week is we're going to be reading a book, which I think you'll understand here in just a second how timely it is for us. So I'm going to ask Angela to distribute it to you all ahead of time so that you can be thinking about your educational sessions, be thinking about your 6-month pillar goals, because the book is really Heart of the Leader by Mark Miller is all about building high-performing teams. And I think if you look at some of the issues that we're confronting in lots of different areas, they're relevant, learned things, and I can give you a little bit of a preview of the book itself and give you some examples of how I think it's going to be helpful for us. But anyway, the first part of it is Miller believes that in high-performing teams, it takes 3 ingredients: talent, skills, which are learned, and then community, which we might think of as our trilogy family. On the first subject of talent, we can do as well as we want with employees, but if we don't have people that are the right talent, either in capabilities or the right culture, in our case, you're never going to win. Skills are the things that we train people on. And I think we have very, very good systems for doing that, always working to improve those. And then of course community is what our culture and our good results in relationship and all the things we do to work on is all about. The one that I'm going to be encouraging everybody to take advantage of is I just don't think we're doing enough on the front end in our hiring to identify through pre-employment testing either personality or competency. And I think we have to have both. And so, if we don't get the right talent, the other two aren't going to work. And I, for example, can tell you that we are not testing for our business office managers, our AP payroll, and that's hurting us. And so we are going to be instituting those kind of testings. We've just recently started doing some very light skills testing, and we're going to see some benefits to that in the nursing and clinical areas. And we certainly will want to be doing some more enhanced skills testing for our ADHS, MDS, as well as our DHS, including I think we're also going to be doing some personality predictive index testing as well, to kind of put together a whole package on the front end to make sure that we get the right talent to invest in. Because I think if we can get the right talent to invest in, we've got these other two pieces of this high-performing team triangle together. And if you think about it, in a lot of our situations, for example, our Director of Health Services, there is no more important person who needs to know how to build a team than that person. You could say maybe the executive director, but mission critical to the success of our operation is our clinical effort. And so we really need to invest in our people and train and work with them to help them build the teams. A DHS can't do it themselves, and you'll see some nice org charts that are part of the book that you're going to read here, and it'll kind of signal to you the kind of different level type leaders. And I think the high performing leader is the one that builds that really good team, and then they're on the outside making sure that the team works well together, the team has the resources they need, they have the right environment, they get the right training for the skills and so forth. So I'm really excited about the book. I think it's very, very timely for all of us as we continue to grow our departments and we continue to grow our teams and encourage them to be high employment teams. So anyway, lots of good things happening around the employee experience. We certainly are going to be working and watching and managing closely. I believe some of these initial changes that we're going to react to quickly will have a positive impact. But I will just still have to stay the course with the long-term investments as well. There's no easy short-term fix here. It's one that we want to all be thinking about as we're moving ahead. And we'll be in March, just week after next, and headed to the last few weeks of the pillar period. So it's time to start planning, look at your metrics, pull everything out, see how you're doing, and most of all, make sure that you're doing everything in your power to attract the right people, and then let's invest in them with training and a great culture, and things go out well. So have a great week, and I'll talk to you this week and perhaps see a few of you at our Bloomington open house on Wednesday. Take care.